Well, Dan Ashworth was about to become Newcastle's sporting director, certainly for the summer, to oversee any transfers that we bring in. But now that looks highly unlikely after the two clubs have failed to agree any sort of compensation deal. So Newcastle may well have to wait quite a while to get the man. Does this mean they're still going to pursue him? Or are they going to turn to somebody else? Let's have a look. Hi everybody, I'm Paul, back again with a Toon review, and we have to talk about this because news is broken sort of yesterday and today that Newcastle United and Brighton have failed to agree any sort of compensation package for sporting director Dan Ashworth. Now, we know a few months back Dan Ashworth was put on garden leave by Brighton because it was plain and simple obvious that he was going to come to Newcastle United. However, they placed him on garden leave to discuss compensation deal with Newcastle. Now, talks have gone on for months and months and months, and still we have nothing. No compensation agreed. Nothing is happening with Dan Ashworth at all. Now, what does that mean? Now, if Newcastle are to continue to pursue Dan Ashworth and they want him at the club, he's clearly their man, they're going to have to wait till November, I'm afraid, because that's when his contract finally runs down with Brighton and he's free to go to any other club that he wants to. So what that would mean is that he stays on garden leave until then, unless Brighton just dismiss him, which they're not going to do because they want the compensation for him. Now, it seems a little strange that, for a sporting director, the two clubs can't come to an agreement on a fee. This is normally, major haggling goes on when you're trying to sort of get a manager out of contract and you want the manager to come to your club, but that's not how it is at the minute. They're trying to get Dan Ashworth, the sporting director, to oversee things that are going on in the summer. Now, Eddie Howe has also come out and said it's frustrating for him because he worked under a sporting director at Bournemouth and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed having that camaraderie, someone that he could talk to about things and get players through the door that were to his liking, that were to his ambitions. And that's not going to happen unless Dan Ashworth gets the job, which seems a little strange because I don't think Newcastle United are going to go out and get somebody straight away. They're going to wait for him, which is November, which is, of course, there's no transfers going on. And with the World Cup coming up in December, the season kicks off again in January. That God knows what we're going to get with January this year, next year. So a little bit of a strange one, and I don't get how they can't come to some sort of compensation. Maybe Newcastle United just think that Brighton are asking way too much, or the other way around. Brighton are refusing to budge because they don't think Newcastle United are offering as much. That's clearly what's going on. There's clearly leeway between the two sides. There's a massive gap, and that gap hasn't closed within recent months of dialect with each club. So make of it what you will, but Dan Ashworth is certainly not at present going to be in the sporting director's role come the summer, which is disappointing. So who is going to handle the transfers? Is it going to be Eddie Howe? Is it going to be, the coaching staff, somebody behind them, someone like that? We don't know, which is a big, big frustration for not just Newcastle United, but the fans as well, because we're very excited about the summer coming up, about who we might sign, who we can go for, and it's just really annoying that we can't get this done. But there is plenty of time, guys. We're not panicking totally here saying, we're not going to get a sporting director in. There's plenty of time. There is plenty of time between now and the summer. Let's just see if something works out. These things normally do. But like I say, it'll be very, very interesting to see if it does. So Dan Ashworth, a little bit of disappointing news there. Now, what's a very interesting interview has been released from Jamal Lascelles, in which he has come out and stated that he's admitted the dressing room, the struggles have gone since the new signings have come into the club. Now, many, many people will know that there didn't seem to be much camaraderie with the team during previous regime. They seemed lost. They didn't seem to communicate with each other. They didn't have that bond. But what we've noticed since Eddie Howe has come in, not just the new players, I think, but since Eddie Howe has come in, and Jamal Lascelles has stated that the players would run through brick walls for Eddie Howe. So that just proves to me that, what a massive difference this guy has made. But since he came in, you can see the team is so much closer. When they score goals, when they make tackles, they're high-fiving each other and things like that. They're there for each other. They're not letting anybody take any responsibility on their own. Now, Lascelles has come out and said it's not just on the pitch that a captain's role, it's obviously off the pitch as well. And these guys that have come in, the likes of Trippier, Dan Burn, Chris Wood, they've all got massive Premier League experience, and they're great in the dressing room as well, and great to have around the training pitch. So it takes the pressure off just the one guy. And I can understand what Jamal Lascelles is saying, because there's no doubt it was affecting his game as well. That added pressure. Many people were saying, take the captaincy off him. He's struggling with the captaincy. It's not happening for him. Somebody else. Maybe now we know why, because he's admitting that there was a lot of struggles going on before everything changed. Players just not getting on with each other, arguing over the silliest things and things like that. But now there's a massive bond in that team. Players have come together, differences have been sorted, whatever they may well have been. But it's a completely different focus now for Newcastle United, which is fabulous for us, because we can see it. We can see the difference on the pitch. And Lascelles has admitted that, being on the bench, it's still a captain's role. He's still got to support the lads. And that's great to see from Jamal coming out like that and not whinging about not being in the starting 11. Of course, he'd like to be there. But at the minute, the two are ahead of him, and he has to accept that, which he has. But he still knows there's a captain's role off the pitch as well. So it's fantastic to know, and it's opened sort of our eyes to see what goes on now, and we can see that these leaders have come in, and especially Trippier. I mean, there's no doubt that he's made a huge difference to the team ethos and the way we act on the pitch. He is the true out-and-out leader. We all know that. But, Jamal Lascelles has come out and give us a good idea of what it's like now, that things have improved dramatically. So it's great news, and long may it continue. And I think it will, because, like I said, he's come out and said that they'll run through brick walls for Eddie Howe. And that's the kind of team and individual players that we need. So well done for Jamal Lascelles for coming out and saying that. Now, a week ago or something like that, one of the transfer shows, we mentioned Kepa, the Chelsea goalkeeper, and the fact that he was being linked with Newcastle United. There is a report this morning come out saying that Newcastle would only be interested in a loan deal. Kepa's value is around 71 million quid, which I find astonishing, because let's face it, he is prone to a mistake. Very good goalkeeper, but he's prone to a lot of mistakes, which 71 million quid is a lot of money for somebody that does that. So Newcastle are apparently looking at a loan deal for him. Now, whether that comes off or not, we don't know. Only time will tell. But it seems to me a little bit strange to go for somebody like Kepa on loan when there's a lot of good goalkeepers out there who may be a bit younger or maybe don't concede silly goals. I don't think Kepa's that old, to be honest, but certainly think there's better keepers out there. But that's just one of the reports going on. Now, we talked about Bruno and his performance for Brazil last night. Absolutely fantastic performance. Newcastle Fans TV put out a thing on Facebook this morning, a rundown of his stats for the game he played yesterday, and he was just outstanding. Grabbed a goal, got an assist, was really one of the top Brazilian players yesterday, spearheading them to a victory. I think it was against Bolivia. So well done to Bruno, and hopefully we see him in the team on Sunday afternoon, because he needs to be. He's playing regular now for Brazil. He's played regular for us the last few games. Now it's time to see him in full flow. So a fantastic performance once again from Bruno. And finally, once again, this thing about substitutions has reared its ugly head and come to the fore. The Premier League are looking like they're going to change from 3 substitutes to 5 at the start of next season. Now, I don't know how you all feel on this. I'm not so sure. I think it obviously benefits the top teams a lot more, who've got the bigger and better squads. So I'm a bit mixed at the minute, because I don't know what kind of squad we're going to have next season. Are people going to say the same thing about us well, you didn't want it, but now you've got a massive squad. It doesn't matter because you can bring on the type of players that, the teams towards the top can. You're replacing quality with quality all the time. So, we have always said that, our 5 substitutions, it benefits Man City, Liverpool, etc. But what about us? We're the up-and-coming team with the money, etc. Do we argue about that, or do we say, 5 substitutions is fine now because we're going to have absolute quality sitting on the bench to come on? So 5 substitutes would be great for us then. So it all changes, doesn't it? So let me know what you think. But please put in the comments below what you think about Dan Ashworth, etc. Because I think that's a strange one for me that they can't get any compensation agreed. But Eddie Howe, we're certainly looking forward to having a sporting director in place. If you have enjoyed the video, guys, do give it a thumbs up. As usual, if you're new to the channel, please do consider hitting that subscription button. You can join the Toon Review by hitting the join button just underneath the video. And a big shout out to our sponsors, obviously, as well. Geordie Riffs, premium guitar services based here in the good old northeast of England. They're offering 10% off your first repair and first setup, a first free guitar lesson, and they do have the very own recording studio as well. So if you want to give that a go, give Graham and Natalie a shout at geordieriffs.co.uk, Instagram at Geordie Riffs, and on Facebook they are Geordie Riffs Official. Graham and Natalie will help you straight away, and it's for all ages as well, across the board, children included. So give them a shout if you are into your guitars. But that's it for now, guys. That's the video. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think below about Dan Ashworth, and what about Lascelles and about what he's had to say. Is that a good sign? That have you read the interview? Are you happy with what he said? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks very much for watching, guys. Keep smiling, be kind, and I'll see you soon.